everybody. My name is John L. Barron, also known as Mr. B. I want to help you out with your first week of school. I want to walk with you every week, the top of the week. Our goal is on Sundays to start planning our week, because if you're planning your week when the week's beginning, you're already behind schedule. So I want to make sure every week that you're focused on your studies. I believe that student engagement equals student success, so I want to stay engaged with you. You can hit me up on YouTube with some responses if you got questions about which class or things that are not going right in your academics. I really want to help you be a responsible student, because it's not just for school that we learn, but it's for life that we learn. If you're going to start your own business, you're going to have to learn how to research the field. You're going to have to learn the market. You're always going to have to study something, no matter whether it's relationships, study how to be a better parent, study how to make yourself better in the job market that you're going to go after. So studying is a germane part of life that you need to know more about. And no matter what happened last year, even if you failed in a class or anything, failure is not fatal. What's fatal is failure to change. And I want to help you change some of your habits and your patterns with my new study system that'll be working for you as you implement it. It's called S.T.R.I.V.E. And basically what S.T.R.I.V.E. is, the first S in S.T.R.I.V.E. is to show up to class. You miss so much by not going to class. Even if you have the syllabus, even if you know when every quiz and every exam is, every homework is due, there's so much to just showing up, to being present. So make sure that you show up to class. Also, select the subject that you're going to study every time that you sit down. Whether it's English, whether it's math, whether it's sociology, whichever subject you're going to study, make sure you know what you're going to study before you sit down, and select the amount to study. Don't try to kill yourself by studying the whole book in one setting. Just pick out a portion, whether it's a couple chapters or you're going to read 20 pages. Like, set aside a certain amount so you have a goal when you sit down to study. So that's the first S in S.T.R.I.V.E. Next is the T. The T is you have to set aside the time. Make sure you have the time daily set aside, the same time daily to study. Or maybe it's Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays you have the same time. Tuesdays and Thursdays you have the same time. Saturdays and Sundays, you know, the time may be the same, but have consistency in your schedule. And then also, it's the time and location that matters. You know, it's hard to study in the bed because you'll end up falling asleep. It's hard to study on the couch because you'll fall asleep, or it's hard to study watching TV. Somebody may have habits that work that way, but you want to figure out what works for you. And if you know it's not working, then please modify that accordingly, because what happens is when you set the same time, the same location, then you create a repetition. Repetitions breed habits. Habits make things more pleasurable. Then you're able to do it often, and then it becomes easy. So make sure that you have the same time. Next is the R. Make sure that you set aside what you're going to read and how much you're going to read in that time frame, because you really have to know what you're going to do and when you're going to do it and how much of it you're going to do. So make sure you set aside what you're going to read. Then make sure that you retain what you're going to read by taking notes. All you have to do is take a sheet of paper, cut the paper in half, and then on one side put do, and then the other side put don't. You write down what you do know, write down what you don't know. And that's just a bullet point. You know, put down a vocab word, a word that you can remember, and then I want you to recite it. Recite what you learn on your own little study sheet, so that way you make sure it's your knowledge and not that you're just regurgitating things as a machine, because you want to make sure you have your own grasp and you can repeat it in your own words. So that way you can engage in class at the next lecture or the next discussion. You'll be able to give educated responses on what you learned in your own words. Next is the I. Make sure that you stay informed, have access to information. Make sure that you're able to know what resources are available to you at your school to help you become a better student. Make sure you inform someone when you're having trouble before you begin to fail out of a class. Make sure you know the information that's important. When are the add dates? When are the drop dates? Before you withdraw and you get an F, or you withdraw and it's a problem. So make sure you stay informed to what's going on. The V. We all get frustrated when we're studying sometimes, when we're not grasping the knowledge. So make sure that you vent your frustrations. Vent them. Call a friend. Tell a professor early. It's okay to get upset when you're not doing well academically, but it's not okay to quit. It's not okay just to hush, close the book, get mad, and never come back to it. Oftentimes I would take the assignment and I would just kind of write my name on it and turn in the paper blank. Like I was going to prove a point. Like, the professor was not mad. I got an F because I was so frustrated that I didn't vent so that I can get help. So that only hurt me in the long run. And then lastly, the E in strive is expect to pass. You enrolled to pass. You didn't enroll to fail. Expect to pass. When you study, when you do what it takes, when you know the material and you give your best effort, I mean your greatest greatness doing your work, then you should expect to pass. But if you just got by, barely studied, copied off someone's papers, cheated, or didn't show up to class, then you don't expect to pass. You hope you pass. It's like a football. It's a Hail Mary. You hope that something works out. But if you do the work, then you should expect to pass. You may look at me and say, Mr. B, who are you? What makes you an expert on studying? Well, let me tell you, my failures have produced my greatest success. And I personally flunked out of college. I had, right here, here's my transcript from college. I had a .47 GPA, 0.47. Oh, you gonna laugh? You gonna laugh in my face like that? Don't judge me. Now, this is part of my story. Now, I didn't get straight Fs, but my GPA was so low, I got dropped from the university. So I had to reapply. And I said, okay, no longer am I, because I was the president of my fraternity. I was the president of all the fraternities and sororities. I used to host everything on campus. I was all social, no academics. So when I got back in school, I stopped hanging with people that was just getting C's and D's like me. I started hanging out with people that were getting A's and B's. I started going to my professor's office at least once a week to discuss life, to discuss the subject, so that they got to know me, they got to know my story. I found out there were people, they were approachable, and I switched my habits. I began to use this strive system that I've been using ever since I turned my life around and became a better student. And then I switched from a .47 to a 3.02. Yes, you can do it. I went from a .47 to a 3.02. Never in my life had I got over 3.0. And studying may be easy to you in certain things. But I want to teach you how to become a better student. My name is John L. Barron. My time is up, but I thank you for yours. And remember, I strive, I study, I succeed. So every week we'll see you here at the start of our week to make sure we prepare for the week with a weekly tip as we promote not only this tour, but ways to teach you how to study. So if you're interested in the t-shirt, the Teach Me How to Study t-shirt, you can email me at johnl@johnlbarron.com, JOHNEL@JOHNELBARRON.com if you're interested in the t-shirt, if you're interested in bringing me out to your school, your church, your organization, wherever we'll come. We have exciting road show that we bring about that's very engaging, fun, hype, live, music, dancing, but more importantly, able to motivate you and give you tools on how to become a better student. We're also interested in helping administrators and teachers learn how to better engage students, because student engagement equals student success. So again, I'll see you next week right here. Take care.
Teach me how to study. 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 Everybody study. Everybody study. Everybody study. You ain't messing with no dummy. Teach me how to study. 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 Everybody study.